So this is where goods first come into our facility. They come on big trailers and come in. Some jobs are small, some are big. But once they come in, we identify what it is and make sure that we get the piece count. We log a receipt number, the date it came in, how many boxes were on that shipment, and when the initial input's due. So that's that 919. So once you go from receiving, which you can see all this stuff is coming in, we have a bunch of different lanes over here, and all those are for input. So initial input, where they're going to go through, they're going to do some testing, make sure it's functional. It also pulls the information on configurations, so it interrogates the products and says exactly what we have. So at that point, our system automatically says this is something that's going to be resold, or this is something that's going to be recycled, from a triage standpoint. So enterprise equipment comes over and goes into the lab, which I'll show you right now. The lab is a controlled room where we do a lot of hard drive wipes, and technicians are working on different things in here. So this is our lab. So a lot of product that we're going to sell on our e-commerce sites, kind of higher end stuff. A lot of Apple product came in today, some Dell product. And those are loose hard drives. So this is a wiping station right there. This is our e-commerce picture area. So they take photos of different products in front of that white screen. Some minor repairs going on over here. Here we have drives being wiped. Actually, it doesn't look like there's many drives being wiped at the moment, but all those slots are for that specifically in the program that does it. So we'll walk over to the next stop will be on the mobile lab. And unfortunately, we had somebody who tested positive in our mobile lab, and we sent most of the other people home for the next 2 weeks. Luckily, no one else is sick. But we do mobile phone repair in here. So you have a little conveyor belt that people put the products on. It moves very, very slowly. Usually there's a lot of people in this room working, but it's been strange times, obviously. You can see here doing some screen repairs. I always find it very interesting. Tiny little tools, very intricate work. These guys are pretty awesome. But we process for an AT&T take back. So if your phone, if there's something wrong with it and you trade it in an AT&T store, it comes to us for repair, and then we send it back to be resold. So the next step, I'll show you where things are broken down. This is a tear down area. So what they're doing is they're harvesting the CPUs, the memory, the hard drives from enterprise equipment servers. So that's what's left over. And that goes to our recycler, just the bare metal chassis. Let's see if we have something to see. Here we go. So here's some servers. And you can see here, these were all memory slots here. These were where the processors were. There's some sticks of memory there. All Dell product. And then we take those and harvest everything else that becomes that would be recycled. So this is copper, aluminum, mixed wires, contaminated metal, aluminum, hard plastics. So each one of those goes to somebody else. So here's a bunch of circuit boards. Circuit boards actually have a pretty good value on the recycle market because there's a lot of precious metals in them. So over here is what's being staged to come in here. So this is a lot of servers came out of a recent job getting ready to go through the process. Actually a lot. It's a pretty big staging area. So we'll go in here. This is where finished goods go. So things that our sales team are going to sell as whole units would go into here. Here we have stuff that's being staged to go to recycling, and what we used to do is we would send it to a guy that a recycler that would basically aggregate a lot of the material from different people. We've been holding on to our material so that we could send it straight to the end of the recycle tier, which I think you heard about on the call a week or two ago. So we've been basically staging all this stuff so we could bypass 3 different tiers and go straight to the end smelters, so we know exactly where this stuff's going and what's being used for. So a lot of motherboards again. And again, only about 70% of what we get into this facility we actually resell. So this is 30% that's going to a downstream recycler. We're more of a reseller than we are a recycler, but this is months and months of staging material to start that circularity program that we talked about. So these units here have been tested, they've been wiped, they've been identified, and these are for sale. So these are on our auction website right now as whole units going to be repurposed. The same with these tablets here. We just did an auction last week, so it kind of cleaned us out a little bit. But within the next 2 weeks, it'll be filled back up again. Some odds and ends we get from customers. We always get pretty interesting stuff. So hard printer cleaning kit. Not sure what we're doing with those. Hopefully we'll sell them. Not even really sure what that is, quite honestly. There's also tons of wiring going to recycling. Finished computers, all-in-ones and monitors. Over here we package everything, make it secure for transportation. Put it on this little turntable, it spins and the shrink wrap goes around. Little scale for making sure we know exactly what was on that shipment. Over here you have our shipping department. So they're double checking, make sure that everything's right for shipment, getting it ready, coordinating the logistics, the carrier, whether it's FedEx or UPS or a third-party logistics company. And then in here we have high-value loose parts, things that are needed to either fix things or drives that are going to be sold individually. But it's a pretty good area. So hopefully that all made a lot of sense and gave you a little look into the facility. It's an interesting process. I still remember the first time I came through here. I didn't even know things like this existed, and you know, we keep getting more efficient. We're trying to be innovative and come up with better ideas on how to help the earth and keep things out of landfills and help our customers make sense of all this. So thank you. Hopefully this gave you a little insight. I can't wait for the day that we're able to meet up in Austin and do this in person and let you kind of explore on your own. But thanks for taking the time to watch, and we'll talk to you soon.